There we go. All right. It wouldn't be a Biscuit Tin RPG without audio issues right up front. So, welcome to Biscuit Tin RPG, everybody. We're back with Red to Black. Some quick reminders up front. Just found out there will be no Saturday game tomorrow. Um, the storyteller had a last minute thing come up, so we're all very sad that we don't get to see what other bad decisions we would be making tomorrow. I believe our next game will be April 1st, or April sometime. I don't know. Go look at a calendar. I'll figure it out. Um, and yeah, so that's basically it. If you are interested in learning a little bit about some of the stuff that I have done recently, I recently released the Oblivion Primer, which is kind of an add-on. It's free or pay what you want. That kind of goes into depth about what Oblivion is and why people are so drawn to it. So it's made for any it's system agnostic, so it is just lore. There's no special things in there other than just story, as well as philosophy and things along those lines. So if that's something you're interested in, it's 11 pages of, you know what, Oblivion sounds pretty awesome. So go check that out. It's available on Drive Through RPG right now, as well as the GM sale is going on, and I can confirm that the entire First Gate series is currently for sale with up to 40% off. So, Legend of the Shroud, Menagerie of Madness, as well as the Fractured Tapestry, all available at discounted prices. So, now's the perfect time to pick that up. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump back in with a recap from Red to Black Session 15, which we titled Knowledge Has a Price. This is from the viewpoint and memories of Augustine. I've gotten incredibly tired of the powers that be treating us like chess pieces. We don't know much, but we know enough. And though all of us have differing ideas about where we want to be and what we want to do, we came to an agreement that there is far more to this resurrection issue than we even realized. For more than Majinn or Ashlyn once wanted to tell us. Far more, rather. God, I really should read these things. It's written perfectly, but I'm stupid. A confrontation of some sort with Majin was inevitable. I'm too familiar with their manipulation skills to not catch just how little they've actually told us. And with how the chips were falling, I had already made some guesses about our favorite betrayer. On the one hand, it was gratifying to have Majin confirm what I had suspected about them, but absolutely infuriating when the information we needed came with the rug being entirely pulled out from under me. And I can't say a damned word about it. Majin may be a master puppeteer, but with the right magic and enough determination, even a puppeteer can have control torn from their hands. They want to play a game with us, with our trust, with our perceptions. They want us to be good little mortals and play right into their hands, into the outcome that benefits them most. But we don't trust them. And all secrets come out with time. We leave for death's domain come morning. Let the games begin. And with that, everyone has awoken from their long rest, whether that be just kind of puttering around, attuning to things, or just taking it easy for the evening. We all rejoin the party at Benny's, sitting down for probably a breakfast of sorts, kind of whatever you want. There's a whole smorgasbord: bacon, eggs, toast. There's even some avocado toast out there for the bougie sorts that like that. Not me.
Don't judge how people get their protein.
Hey, I will judge everything. But yes, so it is with that that you all will slowly make your way down there. I will start off with people that I figure might be doing something in the morning. Augustine, was there anything you're going to be doing before you head down from your room?
Yeah, but it's going to take a second. So while she's prepping the ritual, she's
Okie dokie.
seeing what the others are doing.
Sweet. All right, well then we'll just go from top to bottom here. Riva, are you doing anything before heading to the table?
I think Riva is just talking to Sword for a while,
Okay.
and just is like, I think Riva is inward very worried about this entire trip and is communicating that to Sword, but is doing it in private so no one else has to hear it.
Okay. So a heartfelt moment where you are worried, and Sword, being Sword, is making somewhat lewd comments about how awesome it would be to stab the Storm of Broken Worlds, if you know what she means.
It'll be so cool.
All right. Fantastic. Frankie.
Just packing, making sure I've got everything. Probably a couple of things that I don't need or were necessarily mine when I got here.
Okay. Right on. And Rosina.
I think Rosina wakes up feeling like she slept like the dead and is just starving for some reason. So uh, wakes up, kind of drags herself out of bed, shakes off the sleepiness, and goes downstairs and just starts putting away bacon and eggs and all the other goodies on the table.
Hell yeah. All right. Barbarian Rosina at it again. Got to This is my version of suit up. All right.
I get your
Well,
protein somehow.
absolutely.
You,
All right. So she's obviously putting away avocado toast. I stand corrected.
judgy.
Yes. Only because I tried to eat some the other day and I was like, I don't know how people can do this. But with that being said, it looks like everyone but Augustine is headed, either finishing up a conversation and heading downstairs, finishing packing, heading downstairs, or putting away about 3 parties worth of food to get ready for this adventure. Augustine, we slow roll back up to your room as you are completing the steps for a ritual, which those that have watched are very familiar with, at least the some of the intricacies of it. So, being how this is depending on who you're summoning, what does this ritual look like?
Well, she's summoning fate. Um, I don't believe she needs to sacrifice anything, but I think before she actually like sat down and started the ritual, she wrote a sweet little note for fate,
Okay.
just a cute little quick note, and is going to use that as what she gives.
Okay. All right. The as you throw the note, presumably into the small brazier of fire that you've created, in signifying the sacrifice of words of love, um, time seems to freeze around you, and you find yourself surrounded in the dark. The dark slowly illuminates around you, but not with light, um, but stars. You don't hear anything, but you feel the familiar warmth that fate exudes. Make a perception check.
Right. Sorry, I'm using an app. One
No
second.
worries.
29.
Along with that warmth, you sense kind of in the corner. Uh, it's like those things where you swear you saw something out of the corner of your eye, that itch in the back of your neck. You sense that there is another presence. It's not particularly hiding from you, but it's not making its presence known. It's just on the outside of your senses, but you can only assume that there is another, at the very least, watching in or listening.
We have company this time?
The warmth pulses
Good company?
The pulse that you get is unsure how to answer that question.
I'm sorry, I'll get to my point soon, but do I know this entity?
The pulse, you hear Faith's voice say, "Oh, we are intimately familiar."
Augustine's like, wait, hold on a second, because like, wait, physically here? Like,
Intimately, as in
no, I
like
mean
a
like
friendship.
how does this sound? Oh, okay. Fate saying,
Yeah, not intimate as in the moment you shared, intimate as in well known.
okay, okay. For a second, I was like, wait, is Fate saying she's the entity? Because that's what it kind of sounded like.
No.
All right. Um, I now okay. To Augustine's understanding, she can still speak about going to the domain of death,
Yep.
correct?
Hmm.
Okay. I am about to leave to completely different domain where I don't know if this ritual will quite work. We're going to Death's domain. Uh fuck, this couldn't be easy. Okay. And Augustine, it's not that like it's not me thinking, it's Augustine sitting there like, how do I even say anything without saying something? I might I wish I was as talented as you at negotiation.
You feel the warmth kind of get a little bit warmer, as if a soft smile is playing across one's lips.
If I were, I wouldn't be telling you that I don't know if I will agree with everything that happens when we go there. And I need you to know that.
Silence breaks as fate simply says, "I understand."
Also, actually, I assume you know that the domain of death probably isn't the safest place and also is not um, a place where you should die.
From my understanding, that is correct. There is no escape from that fate.
I will do my best to come back. I just know I can't promise it. So even if this is the only way I get to reach out and say something, I needed to.
I appreciate the thought. Hmm. There's a long, there's a pregnant pause. Um, and before she speaks again, you you sense that something has come into being. And out of the corner of your eye walks in a being of pure light. Uh, you can't really make out the face or anything, but there are angelic wings sprouting out of their back. And you hear Fate's voice from this being of light. And she goes, "I cannot guarantee your safety, but before you go in, And there's a hesitation because you sense with just your passive insight that this is a gamble. At least it seems that way from what you're reading from the situation. He hands you a brooch that looks to be a small shield and a sword crossed behind it. And she holds it out to you. And she holds it out to you.
Can Augustine gauge if this is more of a gamble for her or a gamble for fate?
It's a gamble for fate.
What are you risking with this?
Our, but mostly my future.
I love you, but you are ridiculously self-sacrificing. And I know I'm guilty of the same, but because of that, I need details before I agree to take this.
I can't give you specifics. And you see that the form looks around and kind of focuses on something that you can't see, but you feel behind you. But know that it will help both of us should this pay off. If you take this, the only thing I ask is before you enter Death's domain, break the seal.
What seal?
And as you say what seal, you see her form, the light start to pulse and shrink and enter this brooch as it slowly hangs in the air with the light gone and only lit by distant starlight that is seemingly there and not at the same time.
She'll reach out and take it.
You feel that warmth, that familiar warmth of fate's power pulsing within that brooch.
We've got to talk about your communication skills, but we'll work on that later.
And as you take the brooch and you make those last words kind of echo into the darkness, the form, the being that was there with you kind of dissipates out of existence and the world comes back as your eyes open and you find yourself sitting in your room.
Holding the brooch, I assume.
Yes.
She'll actually put that on and then grab her things that were probably packed before she even went to bed because Augustine's that kind of preparer. And head downstairs to have some avocado toast and bacon with Rosina.
Fantastic. So by the time this has all happened, everyone else has made their way down. Rosina is on her third or fourth plate, just packing it down. Augustine, you walk down the stairs in whatever condition you believe you would be in after such an encounter. Um, Riva and Frankie and Rosina, what are your spirits like as Augustine walks down? Like, how are you feeling?
Riva's very, she's putting on a face as very confident, like all she always is, but she's inside very worried about all of this in this entire situation. But outside, she's just like she's working out in the wherever, like the main room, and just like having fun.
Awesome. Frankie.
It's another day, another adventure. Like it's fine.
Very
I will
nonplussed as
keep doing
usual.
this until I die again, apparently.
All right. Rosina.
I think as Rosina eats, takes a second to like check in with herself and is feeling really good, feeling like stronger and just like ready to go. Um, Not feeling a whole lot better about the Majin situation, but it seems like the party is going to handle that, so she doesn't really have to worry about it in this second. So feeling good as she's getting her protein in.
Right. Perfect. All right. So, is there any discussions that need to be had at the breakfast table, or are we going to head back to the throne room to prepare to leave?
Frankie from somewhere in the kitchen is just going to yell Reva heads up and throw a set of bracers at her. They are not going to check and see if you caught them.
I imagine Rio probably does.
Yeah,
Those dancer
What are
instincts kick
these?
in.
those are for you.
Why? Were they cursed or something?
You were trying to do something nice and I was a dick about it. I am now doing something nice so you can be a dick about it to me. We're square.
Oh my god. Fucking guy. Thank you.
I hear you grumbling, but you're going to wear them anyway. They're going to look cool.
I guess we will start taking the time to tune to them, I assume.
I don't believe they require attunement. I don't remember off the top of my head. Frankie, what are those bracers?
They're the ones that I picked up from Kodiak. I think they give a +2.
Braces of
Ah,
defense, right?
yes.
Yeah.
It requires attunement. So I'll
I don't
just be sitting
remember if
there.
they were anything like fancy. They were just bracers.
You'll have time to attune while the everything's set up. So don't worry about it. You can go ahead and utilize them if you wish to.
While we're also, as soon as Augustine comes down, Riva gets up and starts walking to everyone and says, I know you all are not very good at this whole adventuring thing, so I bought potions for you all. And I hand out everyone a superior and one greater.
Aw, you do care if we don't die.
It sort of like makes my job harder if you do, you know?
I find that so incredibly funny, Reva, considering you literally died when we last adventured together, and I never once did until the very end.
Remind
In
me
fact,
again
I
how you
barely
ended up
bled.
encountering your brother
Yeah,
there,
it went
Augustine.
so well.
You've died fairly recently too.
Oh, yes, no, that's fair. I'm just saying, based on the long-term history, I think you've bled more than I have.
I don't think that's true now. I
You've
think you
you've lived
died
a
twice
lot
here.
longer, like statistically, if nothing else.
Statistically, yes, but statistically, she seeks out fights. I solved everything with words before you chuckle fucks came along. Well, your
You
aunt in your
loved
case.
us.
Thanks for the potions, I guess.
Absolute
You're
snide
welcome.
comments with Rosina being like, "These guys are friends."
Rosina's like, no, that was actually nice. Why is everyone being a dick this morning?
You need some hard-boiled eggs or some more bacon?
Augustine will take more
I'm
bacon.
I'm not hungry. I'm good. Thank you.
There's a chunk of cheese I want to shove in my bag for later. Hang on. Goes back in the kitchen. Frankie is 100% rating as if they're not going to find food anywhere else.
I think
Ominous.
Rosina has a batch of brownies from her chef pursuits.
This is going to be a fun field trip.
All right. All right. So, after you all have had your fill, Riva, you'll probably have enough time while everyone's kind of situating themselves to leave to go ahead and attune to that item should you choose to. You all start heading back towards Onyx Requiem, taking the shortest path. Let's see here. So many buttons. Here we go. Where the yes. Go ahead and start that up a little bit. All right. So you all head back towards Onyx Requiem, and you find that it is on high alert. Nixian guards are flying around, and as you are approaching, two clearly new and young ones, uh, as you approach the front gate, they stop you, um, and they say, "Excuse me." One of them's just sniffing like Riva, just like suspiciously, like there's something off about Riva. It's
I took a shower this morning. You'll need to smell that hard.
I swear I smell the scent of evil. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's something here.
Really?
Yeah, I
You
killed this
smell the
lady a
scent
few
of
days ago.
evil coming off of the honored guests of Queen Ashlyn?
But
If you don't believe me, please go ahead. Call one of your higher ups over.
Wait. What does evil smell like?
uh,
Also, since when did we all get really judging about
Rotten
evil?
eggs. Rotten eggs, surprisingly.
I don't smell like rotten eggs.
No,
No, you
you
showered. We
don't.
talked about this.
You smell fine, Reba. You haven't even done any sweating yet.
the other
Listen,
one, yeah.
you two little children, I suppose. Listen, why don't you get someone with rank? Because we have a mission we need to get on. And you're holding us up, and I don't think the queen would be very happy about that.
All right. Fine. We just got to make sure that you're ready to go. So if you would, please repeat my movements after me. And this
No.
other
No.
one starts doing an intricate sequence of dance movements and quickly points towards Augustine and goes, "You copy what I did."
Or I could turn into a dragon. Which would you prefer?
She's also not the dancer in the party. You kind of asking
Yeah,
the
that's
wrong
more of
person.
Reva's vibe.
Huh. As this is happening, like you understand, like now you're looking at it. These two chuckle fucks are they're just they're not necessarily trying to make your lives miserable. They just think they're doing what's right in order to make sure everyone's safe, but they're going about it the wrong way. About 2 minutes or so of this nonsense passes, and another
Bill,
higher ranking. Yeah, go ahead.
I was actually going to say, as they're like doing these shenanigans, can Augustine just real quick cast Find Familiar to bring back? Oh, what was his name? My little pseudo dragon.
You would ask me something about that. I don't remember. That was your warlock days. Those are way behind you.
I know, but I took Find Familiar again, so I missed him.
I don't remember. We're gonna go ahead and put insert name, but it's the same dude. He comes back.
We'll figure it out. And Augustine just, hi, sweetness. It's been a long time. We're going to catch up very soon. I was going to summon you when we got in there, and it was a little less hectic, but these idiots are holding me up. Can you find someone who has rank and drag them over here, please?
Yes, ma'am. This little dragon like puts its wing up and salutes you with that, with two arms off to the side, uses its wing to salute you, and then flies off. And the two are like, "Oh, hey, get back here, you!" And about, like I said, like a minute and a half later, another Nixian guard who is obviously higher rank, and you've actually seen around the palace grounds before, walks up and goes, "What are you two idiots doing? We're making sure it's safe." Hey,
They're new, aren't they?
yes, I apologize. Um, sometimes they get a little overzealous with trying to make sure that the riffraff stays out. Feel free to pass. And the two are like, and he just looks at you and goes, Laurel, Hardy,
Hmm.
knock it off.
I mean,
Yes,
it's
boss.
probably better for them to be overzealous than lazy, but
It's true. Well, the sovereign awaits. My apologies again.
For future reference, a dance-off is not how you decide if someone's evil, because even evil people can shake their ass.
Laurel shouts back, "Evil has no rhythm."
that means Jazz is evil, isn't or doesn't it?
I don't know.
That wasn't.
Listen, I've met
Never mind.
a lot of evil bards who were really good dancers, unfortunately.
The new Nixie just like slaps the other one upside the head. Knock it off. Oh, looks like I'm gonna be on guard duty with you, idiot. And they're like, oh man. One of them kicks the ground, kicks up a little bit of dust, like, oh shut. And you all make your way into the throne room. As you enter, gone are the signs of the previous night's events. Broken glass has been swept away. Tables and chairs have been cleared, and the smell of battle has been replaced with earthy notes of burning incense, all contributing to the seriousness that seems to permeate this somber chamber. In front of the sovereign and her ever present arbiter stands a group of 4 well equipped warriors with an obviously nervous woman wearing a mask of the House of the Sovereign, a stylized wisteria tree embroidered upon her cloak. Off to her side, Johann stands stiffly as Majin the betrayer whispers something to him. From her seat atop the throne that dominates the hall, Ashlyn looks the party up and down quickly before addressing everyone. She's going to quickly and just efficiently impart the following information. The first thing being that only the souls of the dead stand a chance of surviving the domain of death, and conversely, only the living may attempt entry into the domain of life. Therefore, you all will travel to the domain of death, while the group of living adventurers will seek out the domain of life. The portals to these 2 domains lie deep within the storm of broken worlds, and as the Sunless Crossing exists as a space between both life and death, they act as anchors as a sort for this place. I've heard more and more news is coming into Nox Valar about the effects of the Scarlet Malice and how it's having out in the Ashen Fields, and the news is not good. Expect a dangerous journey. Very few know the location of the portals being sought. Johann has informed me that he has once seen the entrance to the domain of life, and he will be guiding the group of the living to their destination, while Majinn here has offered to lead you all to the realm of the dead. Haste is of the utmost importance as things seem to be getting worse with each turn of the great hourglass. As she says those last words, she simply says, "Does anyone have any questions?"
Yeah, why does the dead guy know where the life domain is and vice versa?
Johann goes, "Hey, I don't judge you for being dead."
You could. We'd let you.
Oh, well, in that case, haha, we're all dead. I got nothing.
Yes.
But no, I ran across it one day when I was picking up some hapless souls.
Fair enough.
They appeared out in the Storm of Broken Worlds. That was a hazardous journey.
What does the portal look like?
Well, I don't know about the. Wait, who are you talking to? Johann says, "Wait, I couldn't be
Whoever
answering
knows
questions."
the death one, the one we're going to.
Oh, I've never seen that one. So he turns over and looks at Majin, and Majin goes, its entryway changes from time to time depending on where it's located. I would assume that this one would be this entrance would be kind of a cellar door into the ground of sorts.
While that conversation is happening, Augustine's gonna kind of like casually go over to stand by Johann and lower her voice a little.
Okay.
How familiar are you with wards, magical ones?
Magical wards? Like, what do you mean?
And she just points to the brooch. There's a seal, I believe, on it. And I'm supposed
Oh,
to break it before I go into the domain of death, but I am not familiar with breaking seals like that.
oh. Well, it depends. It could be a magical seal, in which case you'd need some sort of spelling magic, or it could be more straightforward. You could just have to shatter it.
Augustine has this definite moment of like, she gave me a gift and I need to shatter it? Do you think if I let you take a look at this, you might be able to see if you can get any insight on it?
Ah, sure. He holds his hand out.
She'll unhook the brooch and offer it out.
He holds it in his hand, and then he starts flipping it over his knuckles like a coin as he kind of ponders on it, and he goes, "Ah, well, dispel. This isn't magical in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't look like a dispel magic would work on this. It does appear that if you need to break the seal, as it were, physically breaking this one would be the way to go." And he hands it back to you.
Thank you. I mean,
Ah,
kind of
anytime.
sucks. It was a gift, but still.
Well, sometimes things are meant to be broken.
Like bones. Wait, hold on.
He he he,
Did not
he
come
puts
out
his
how
hand
I
he
mentioned.
puts his hands behind his back. He goes, "No thing."
I'm going to scoot back over here now, even though everyone probably already noticed me coming over here.
No worries. To give you a little bit of the setting, other than the fact that you're in the throne room, looking at the other party of people comprised of all living beings, their leader is a dark-skinned human woman in her early 20s. If any of you would like to make an insight uh, check to see how she's gauging everything. You are aware that she's a little worried. It's on her face, but to get clearer insight.
19.
25.
22.
All right.
18.
All right, cool. You all recognize that despite whatever air of confidence she is putting on, she's clearly afraid. But yeah, so she's the one in charge. She's standing stoic, but you see through the facade of her, you know, what the airs that she's putting on, that she's ready for this. But you all see right through it. You know that this young woman is terrified of what is potentially going to happen.
I might have a thing I want to do, but I gotta look it back up real quick. Second, I'm sorry.
So
John, Menagerie of Madness's table of contents does not have page numbers, and this makes me mad right now.
you're welcome.
It will not be the only thing that makes you mad.
Did updates. I think the newest version has it. I don't know if I gave the newest version to y'all. I think that's the old one I
You
had sitting.
didn't, if it does.
You're not in the business of making things easy for people.
Really
Do
not.
you remember your spells well off the top of your head?
Depending on which one.
Power Word Inspire.
Uh, Give me just a second.
I was gonna say it gives a boon of some sort, and I think it might help in this scenario, but I'm not 100% sure.
Uh,
I was like, I don't think I'll have to use this session. I can take a screenshot of it later.
let's see here. What in the hell? All right, spells. These are in alphabetical order, I believe. Yes, they are. You said this is Menagerie of Madness, right?
I think so. It's
I
definitely one of yours.
It is not. All
Maybe
right.
it's not. Oh, it's Compendium of the Absurd, I bet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Hang on. I got
Because it
you.
had the shorter. Scroll. That's the
There we go.
invocation. Nope, it'd be above.
All right. Power word inspire. You and up to 2 creatures of your choice gain 4d6 temporary hit points and resistance to 1 damage type of your choice. If this spell is cast again, the previous effects end. For each level above 6th, the spell is cast, it can affect 1 more person. The duration is 8 hours.
Okay, so to our understanding, what kind of length of trip do they have ahead of them? Does Augustine think she might be able to cast this and like it would give this woman more confidence because it's going to be helping her when she's there?
You do not have enough information at your disposal to know how long of a journey it's going to take to get to either one of these domains. You might have one soon enough, depending on the questions you ask. But right now, maybe, but probably not.
Frank is
Which
going to
domain
ask the
is she?
general populace if just how long this is going to take.
Majinn speaks up and says, I can't speak for the domain of life, but what I can say is that once we get inside of the Storm of Broken Worlds, I anticipate being there for at least a day before we reach Death's domain. Johann goes, that sounds about right. I mean, it might be a little bit less for us if it's still in the same place.
Which domain is the shaken woman going to again? It is
The
the
domain
life
of
domain, yes.
life.
That's what I
Yes.
thought. Augustine's gonna make her way over to her. She's not gonna make a big deal of it, but like kind of go over just to have a conversation with her.
Sure.
It's probably not going to inspire much confidence, but you do recognize that no matter what happens here, you are now never going to truly die, right? Because what you are about to do is impactful enough and important enough. You're always going to be remembered. There's a lot of power in that. And I think, if I'm gauging you correctly, you're the kind of person who would want to see the outcome and live to hear what people have to say about what you've done, right?
He looks at you. Go ahead and roll a persuasion to see if you can adjust her mood a little. I don't even know why I'm having you roll this, but sure.
That is going to be plus 19. Oh God, hold on. 38?
Jesus Christ. Yeah. He's like, I mean, whether I live or die is of little consequence. Um, I'm doing this for honor and duty. But yeah, I can take solace in that. And she stands up a little bit straighter. Some of the worry that was playing across her face and in her eyes is kind of sunk into the back as she kind of gathers herself a little bit better. And she looks and she goes, "Thank you."
Augustine's gonna offer out a hand, and it's not gonna be a handshake. She's actually going to, which probably isn't expected, clasp her forearm and like the more warrior handshake.
Oh, hell yeah.
Um, as someone who has made a decision more for the greater good than myself, it's peaceful. And you go with a smile. But I'm pretty sure I'll see you when you get back. And when I'm proven right, I'll happily write you a song.
He smiles and takes your hand readily, shakes you back with the warrior's handshake, and says, I look forward to seeing you after this is all done. Best of luck on your journey as well. Your journey sounds a lot more harrowing than mine.
Perspective. What was your name?
My name is Samira.
Samira. Augustine. I'll see you when we both get back.
All right. So,
go back to the group.
Anybody else have any questions? Other than there's chatter going on in various between various people. Majinn is remaining relatively quiet right now, other than the few words that they've spoken. But you look up onto the throne and you see Ashlyn waiting to see if anyone has any questions.
Do we have any idea what kind of dangers we're going to be facing in the storm? I've never really been there, so I wouldn't. Is it like monsters out there? Is it just the storm itself we need to be worried about?
The storm of broken worlds is dangerous for a myriad reasons. Ashlyn ponders for a moment before answering. She goes, reports gathered and journal entries read note that it is a storm like no other. There are constant flashes of lightning and thunder, and if the rumors are true, if you're lucky or unlucky enough, you can find the tombs or worship houses of dead and forgotten gods. But as for the storm itself, tricky and very dangerous. I would make sure that you prepare accordingly.
Well, it's about enough information for me to go kill something. So, anyone else got something to say?
It sounded like a threat. Anybody else got something to say? No, I didn't
No,
think so.
ma'am.
Augustine's not gonna say anything else, but can she inspect this and this brooch and try to figure out? Because I didn't feel the instructions were clear, and I'm autistic, so I want to know I'm misunderstanding things correctly. Is she supposed to break this thing directly before she enters the domain of death, or is it something that she feels might be able to help her? If, like, say they encounter trouble when they enter the storm, if she were to smash it, then if it might offer, help at that point.
Ultimately up to you. The only thing that was stated was to crack the seal before you enter the domain of death.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Are we all ready? Okay. And with that, Ashlyn says, all right, the guards will see you to the enduring threshold and see you out on your journeys. As you are all walking, your group walking lockstep, or rather side by side, with the other group headed to the domain of life. Um, the Thanks to the confidence inspired by Augustine and their leader, they all seem to be a little bit more pumped, ready to get this done. Seems like there was a little pep talk going on when you all were asking questions. You make it to the edge of the city, and passing through the carved wings of the enduring threshold, the swaying fields of gold lie ahead. Stopping, the Nixian guards who have escorted you this far look back at the looming face of Guardian's Rest, rising to Nox Valar. They give a nod of respect to their long-past brethren who have taken their eternal watch upon the sides of the mesa. They turn to you all and say, "We wish you safe travels and success on your mission." They say before spreading their wings and taking flight back toward the city above. As you all enter the ashen fields, you notice that there's always an ever-present feeling of danger. Um, so, Along your way, you'll encounter various things. Be rolling some interesting things here and there. Before we get into it, um, are we going to be trying to avoid combat, or are we going to try to intercede on anything?
Let's vote on this as a group. Reva does not speak for the entire party.
I was gonna say, I think if we don't let Reva get into at least one scrap, there's gonna be a different set of problems.
I think that when it comes to the smaller skirmishes, we should be trying to avoid it. However, if we're seeing something that looks like it could be a major problem, if we accidentally stumble back into it later down the road, we just fucking deal with it. I think that might be a fair middle ground, and it leaves Reva the opportunity to potentially bash some skulls.
So, as you're walking out, Majinn, who has been uncharacteristically quiet, you're probably about 100 or so feet from the entrance to the city. They'll speak up and go, "I just want to impress upon you that what we do in the fields will have very little value in regards to stopping or stemming the Scarlet Malice itself. Um, our ultimate mission is to try to convince the Domain of Death to stop letting things go the way they have been. And assuming the Domain of Life is in agreement, we can stop this from happening. At least that's my theory. So I would caution against fighting, unless you cannot find another way out."
There's
So,
something about the fact that he doesn't want us to fight that actively makes me want to go punch something now.
For once, we are on the same page.
It's bound to happen eventually. It just had to be about spiting someone else.
so as you're all walking, oh my God. Sorry, one second. My dog farted, and it's awful. So know that I'm fighting my own battles as you decide on yours. Screams, as you're walking through, screams echo through the air off in the distance. A man runs in terror from several dark, flying wraith-like forms. The scream ends as quickly as it began when the shadows descend upon him, swarming chaotically before darting off in search of new prey. One of many horrific sights that you see as you traverse across the fields, heading, for all intents and purposes, east, rather northeast, between the quarry and Atonement Grove, avoiding some of the major encampments along the way. After about an hour or so of travel, you're about halfway there. Travel becoming much easier as you wander through. You see a red ball of light screams through the air, smashing into the ground a few feet ahead of you. Rising out of the tall golden grass is an armored warrior, the insignia of the legionnaires emblazoned on their breastplate. The warrior cries out, "I shall not be felled that easily, warlock," and reaches for an absent blade. With a look of confusion, the legionnaire runs wildly off into the ashen fields. As you're walking, Majin is musing about how they find it curious that the Scarlet Malice has begun to break down the rules that govern the Sunless Crossing. With the dead no longer needing to visit Atonement Grove to see Nox Valar, and even more so, that you all and your actions could very well save the realm and everyone in it. Any
I hope that
conversation?
Majin can feel Augustine staring daggers in the back of their skull because it's happening. It is 1000% happening the whole way.
Majin is visibly nonplussed. Not worried about anything, just watching the things around and musing, waxing poetic, as it were. As you continue walking a bit further, you're probably about, I don't know, 300 yards away from the storm. As it starts to kick up, you start to see um, the storm kind of looms much larger in the horizon. As you're approaching, uh, Majin kind of offhandedly comments, this entire thing is really Nixia's fault. Her obsession with resurrection and her naivete doomed her to an eternal slumber powering the Sunless Crossing. Her absence allows the gods who forgot her to abuse this power unchecked. I mean, after all, life and death matter. The laws of existence call for and intend this cycle to continue. Resurrection circumvents the natural order and presents perverse eventualities, such as villains who abuse their power with no fear of death, the scale of holy wars tipped by heroes once felled, and even gods surviving when the divine tapestry would see their strings cut.
That's a little victim blamey, don't you think?
I mean, it's all perspective. When you've been around as long as I have.
How long is that?
Ooh. Huh. I've lost count.
Try.
I'd say at least 1,000 years.
You couldn't count to 1,000?
Just giving you my wildest stab in the dark. Probably much longer.
Seem to know a lot about the gods' deals and their going-ons.
Well,
And particularly bitchy about them.
when you see how they abuse the powers that are bestowed onto their portfolio, you begin to, shall we say, become a bit disenchanted.
Don't give them more credit than they deserve. They've already admitted that they are essentially dreams. Gods sleep, gods dream. You can hide nothing in dreams. Dreams are the truest representation of oneself, one might say. So the fact that Majin knows as much as they do is not impressive. It's simply a statement of how long they've been around. Just probably as long as mortals themselves have existed, if not as long as gods or any entity with consciousness has existed. And we could go in circles about that.
Well said, Augustine.
As I have said before, but not since I died, gods and the like are not actually as special as they like to think that they are. Anyone can contain multitudes and create worlds on differing scales.
You're not wrong. Gods are not the only ones with will and agency. I mean, in fact, without the domains themselves, there would be no gods. And the agreements and pacts between them what allow existence to function. This is something I understand intimately.
Hmm.
As those words echo, you find yourselves approaching. The golden grasses of the ashen fields are no longer as tall or thick here, as the winds from the distant storm whip them to and fro. Through it, directly ahead of you, a skirmish rages. Um, Armored legionnaires openly clash with accursed guard. Both arrows and arcane energy fly through the air around a huddled group of travelers who have circled their colorful patchwork wagons in an attempt to protect themselves from the chaos that rages around them. A woman, crouched down and protecting a small child with her body, spots you and looks at you with pleading eyes.
So we're helping those ones, right?
We gotta, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if we don't, I mean, we're really gonna smell like rotten eggs, right?
The fact that we're even questioning it makes me wonder if we're starting to smell like rotten eggs. Come on.
I'm going.
Same. We're crunched for time, but not that crunchy.
And as Augustine turns to start leading the way, she's going to take off the brooch and try to crush it in her hand. Because this is a decision she feels fate would make. So she's gonna break the seal now. Because why fucking not?
Okie Oh, that's going to circumvent a large portion of this. All right. So
You did not give me specific instructions, John.
I
I'm
gave
gonna throw
you
you through a window.
instructions, and they
were
were
not
you have
specific
player
enough.
agency. So let me
That's
go
not an
ahead.
instruction. That's just a statement of fact.
If you want me to follow a certain path, you got to give me pathway markers. That was a vague flag in the distance.
Hey, that's fine. There's no shame in the game. So, how do you crack this brooch? How do you shatter it?
She has it in her hand, and she's going to crush it with her
Okay.
hand.
In that case, what is your strength?
I mean, you would think I'd be able to make a check.
I mean, yeah,
Strength.
absolutely. I just need to know how this might work.
The strength is a 0, but it's a brooch.
All right, cool. It is made out of it looks metal, but go ahead and make a strength check to
Oh.
see if you can crack this thing.
If it looks metal, then Augustine's going to smash it on the ground.
Okay.
You didn't say it looked metal.
It's a brooch. What do you think I'm gonna make it out of, like sawdust?
Yes.
No, but it could
It's
have been more
you!
delicate material.
No. It's a metal of sorts. There's a chance that you could bend and break it. It might be made out of, I don't know, aluminum. But if you wanna smash it on the ground or like stomp on it with your foot, go ahead and roll strength with advantage.
Thank God for advantage, because we are smashing it on the ground. Ayo, nat 20.
Nailed it. All right, so everything kind of stops as this brooch shatters underneath your feet. Time stops and darkness overwhelms you, and you find yourself in a vast emptiness surrounded by stars in every direction. Augustine, the air around you stills, thick with an unseen weight, as if the world itself holds its breath. And then, there she is. Fate. Not as an overwhelming force, not as some distant celestial power, but standing before you, radiant yet wary, as if only now stepping into a freedom long denied. In her hands, cradled like something precious, a fragment of starlight pulses with quiet intensity. For the first time, you notice the faint, glimmering chains that once clung to her wrists. They are cracked now, trembling under an unseen force, their links unraveling thread by thread. She exhales softly, as if feeling their absence for the first time. You were always meant for more, she says, her voice steady. But there is something else beneath it. Relief. You have not been forgotten. Then she releases the spark. It does not fall. It flies, surging forward, sinking into your core. A rush of warmth spreads through you, not burning, not searing, but resonating. It is possibility itself, raw and unshaped, waiting for you to claim it. And as it takes hold, the weight you have carried for so long begins to shift. The unseen chains, the ones that Majinn wove around your soul, tremble. They do not break, not yet, but they loosen. The tension that held them caught begins to wane, as if something beyond your reach is changing, preparing for the moment they will finally fall away. Across from you, Fate shudders as the last remnants of her own bindings collapse into dust, dissolving into the aether. She breathes in deeply, her presence expanding, no longer constrained, no longer held. And then your hands feel lighter. Your sword, once rusted and worn, shudders as flecks of decay flake away, swept into golden dust beneath it. The blade is pristine, gleaming with a light that does not come from the sun. Your shield, long dulled and battered, smooths beneath your touch, reforging itself into something whole, something strong, a crest, one you do not remember, yet somehow know, now marks its surface. This is not a second chance spoken aloud. It is not a promise given in words, but in this moment, as power hums through your bones, you know. The chains on your soul are still there, but they are weakening. And fate, at last, is free. As the light of the transformation settles, a hush lingers between you and fate. The weight of what has just transpired hums in the air, unspoken yet undeniable. She watches you with eyes that shimmer like distant constellations, no longer dulled by unseen shackles. For the first time, there is space, space for understanding, space for clarity, and in this fleeting moment, you sense it. A chance to ask, to grasp at the truths that have remained just out of reach. She looks you in the eyes and says, "You may ask 2 questions. Choose them wisely." The world around
Yo,
you
I'm
trembled.
sorry.
The world around you trembled, not in fear, but in anticipation. The very fabric of this place shivers like a waking dream, the edges of reality blurred with possibility. Whether you seek knowledge, reassurance, or something more, the answers lie within your reach. If only you dare to ask.
Augustine can't currently see what's about to be a battlefield, correct? Like all she sees is the sea of stars.
Yep. She knows vaguely where it is, and she has the understanding that time has stopped, so nothing's happening right now. Chronomancy's pretty dope.
How far from Augustine is Fate?
She is within arm's reach. And she looks like you remember her.
There is a moment of Augustine just staring at Fate, kind of trying to make it make sense in her brain that she's right there. And she'll reach out and try to take her hand.
Her hand is in
Does
yours.
it? Yeah, no questions yet. She's just throwing her arms around Fate and clinging to her. For the sake of expediency, she does hold it for a bit longer than normal. And when she pulls back, her first question: what happened to you? And even though she's not being super specific, she assumes that it's pretty evident that like she didn't know that there were chains on Fate. So,
Much like your brother, although not knowingly, I found out later that the reason the well was broken is because the celestial powers had been removed. I was not sure until much later how that happened. Majinn killed my patron and took their place. And when I repaired the well, I forged a pact with them. And until just now, I was bound by the same rules as your brother. And you.
and that's why you understood so quick. Mm. Mm. Is Majin an enemy? Or is there still a chance that whatever this twisted, convoluted game they're playing is, you think it might be for arguably the right reasons?
It's a philosophical question. I will try to answer it the best I can.
I would trust your answer more than anyone else's.
If you truly believe in what Majin believes, which is that resurrection should stop, that life should have finality, no magic bringing anything back into existence, no resurrection, where mortals live out their lives and they either die or they survive to become heroes, or worse, then Majin is not the villain. However, if you believe that agency and the ability for people to choose is important, you believe that resurrection should continue to exist, Majin is in fact very much the enemy of all that is as it currently stands. Now, there is a caveat. No matter which side you go with, know, as you probably already do, that Majin has told you true about how this all started. And how you feel about that, I cannot make that choice for you.
If there's one thing I've learned through all of the bullshit that we've gone through, the past has happened. It can't be changed. A different future, however, can always be forged. I'm going to do what I know is right. And I don't know what consequences will come with that, if there will be any. But whatever happens, no. I will be doing what I believe is right.
I expect nothing less.
I was almost willing to play his game, honestly. But those chains, those fucking chains, the confirmation that it all fucking goes back to Majin. I have a feeling, but no. Majin controlled my entire life, brought me exactly where they wanted me, and I'm done.
Then allow me to do one more kindness before I go away for a while. She outstretches her hand, and you can't see it, but it'll become evident once this is over. And you see a power, like a pulse of light, shoot off into the distance. And as the final words drift into the vastness, the scene begins to shift. Starlight spills from the cracks of this in-between space, swirling into gilded spirals. The ground beneath you fades into a sea of mist, the horizon folding into and onto itself like a dream unraveling at dawn. Fate's form begins to shimmer, not vanishing, but becoming, no longer bound, no longer tethered. The light swells, a crescendo of quiet brilliance, and then darkness, soft and endless. The moment is gone, but something within you has changed forever. And as this happens, you look down. Your sword and shield obviously changed. Your garments have changed into from a beautiful dress to a gorgeous gilded silver and gold and not mithril, adamantine plate armor, or whichever version you got. I don't remember off the top of my head. And you stand there as the Legionnaires and the Accursed Guard begin to scream in agony as you see them start to burst from within. The seams of their veins, the red in their veins, starts to shatter, and they all crumble to ash. And you're left standing in front of a wagon train full of scared and very, very confused people as everything comes back into view. And everyone else none the wiser to anything that happened, including your somewhat talkative and bravado-laced companion, Majinn.
So it legit just looks like Augustine underwent like an instantaneous transformation and people just dropped.
Yes, so what happens for everyone else outside? It's a fraction of a second. You see a blinding light shoot out from Augustine in a split second, and the light bounces back and forth between the Accursed Guard and the Legionnaires. As all you had heard right before that, some of you may have seen it as you turned to see her smash that brooch. Her form transformed, very magical girl. You're welcome. Enter Augustine, aka Sailor Moon, as the Accursed Guard and Legionnaires explode from within.
I think I just look back
Um,
at Augustine, like, why'd you say that? Look back at the no, what the fuck? What? Why can't I have anything nice?
I'm really sorry. That actually wasn't intentional. I mean, we did intend to save you towards like the poor scared people. We did intend to save you. That was not intentional. I'll explain later. But it won't happen again.
It's a little late now.
I'm sorry. We'll find something else. Well, I'll find you something really big to fight.
Fine.
I'll find you
Buzzkill.
two really big. I'll go find you a giant. Don't be mad at me. Some new people to say. Augustine like stops going after Reba and is going to turn back towards those people. I
Mhm.
assume she has a sheath for the sword.
Yes, it's had a sheath. It like while you were gone, like you pulled the sword out like as just part of the transformation sequence, and the sheath itself is also now beautifully bound leather with a silver and green filigree.
So she sheathes her sword and kind of like puts her hands up so they can see she's not armed. We're not here to hurt you. We can show you where you need to go for safety.
The woman, obviously confused, grasps her child and says, "Okay, all right."
Can we like oh go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead. They're kind of they're standing up and taking stock of what just happened. There's ash now blowing away in the winds of the storm. Uh,
Can, can we do we know a path that's going to be safe for them to traverse to get to the actual city?
I mean, you can give them a guideline of what it is, but it's an ever-changing landscape. You can tell them what to look for and avoid, to give them the best chance of making it back.
More to the point, what are you doing out here in the first place?
Um, there's a jovial despite all this, a large half ogre walks up and goes, "Oh, we were escaping, and then well, we got a little close to the storm, and then all these guys showed up. It was a whole thing.
Escaping to where?
Literally away from the battle. This seemed like the safer route, but it doesn't seem any safer now that we're closer to this place. This is terrifying."
Hindsight and all that.
Yeah. He's so as you look at he goes, "Oh, sorry, my name's Utabar." Uh as you take in Utabar, he's got rosy cheeks with a round belly spilling over the top of his colorful kilt. He goes, "I'm the caravan master. Um I'm a I gotta do something nice for y'all. These might help. We had them, but now seeing as this looks super dangerous and probably not for where we want to go, these might help you all as well. Um, if it seems that you're headed that way, which it seems that you are." And he walks over to a one of the caravans, one of the what the hell are they? Wagons. Thank you, brain. And pulls out a large chest, opens it up, and pulls out what appears to be some cloaks. They are cloak of resistance to lightning. And he goes, these might benefit you. And he hands one to each one of you, and he goes to hand one to Majinn, who simply, it's fine. And he's confused, but all right, whatever. I don't know what your plans are, but we appreciate the help. As mind-boggling as whatever that was.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. Thanks for the cloaks, I guess.
Oh, I, you, I'm sorry I couldn't do more. You look rather disheartened.
Fine, it's not your fault.
She wanted to fight things. It
Ah, I understand. Well, he looks around. He's like, looks like there's gonna be plenty of that.
Hopefully. I was told we're going on a very dangerous mission, and Augustine just explodes everyone once we find the fight.
I feel like Augustine has like taken advantage of the conversation and is kind of like over off by herself, like examining the sword, kind of like she hasn't actually like taken a look at all of this stuff, and she's like, "What the fuck? I got a makeover and I'm wearing armor that I don't recognize."
Yep.
So are you guys heading back into town?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably gonna be for the best.
Hmm.
I'm gonna round everybody up here, and we're gonna try to find a way back to the city. See if maybe it's settled down there a bit. Uh, ooh, we were headed over to the junction, but that seems to be crowded. Maybe we'll stop there first. It looks like there's a lot of people in need. But again, thank you very much, travelers. Greatly appreciated. I don't want to take up any more of your time. You look like you're on a very important errand of sorts. So if you need anything and we see you in the future, just let me know. I'm part of well, it seems lately a shrinking network of merchants, but if you need it, we can probably find it for you.
Good to know.
And he starts walking back towards the caravan, checking on all the people to make sure that they're okay, giving bandages to those that look like they were injured, and yeah, they start rounding up and packing things up, getting ready to go. So you were all 5 left standing there. Majin just starts walking towards the storm.
I'm so glad they don't have any commentary on what just happened because I had no idea what Augustine was gonna say.
I mean, I feel like your party is all just collectively going, we're just going to put a pin in that for now.
I feel like it's something where they're like, we'll discuss this when it's just us.
Yeah, this is a walk and talk away from the civilians conversation.
All right. So, anything else before we head off into the storm? No? Awesome.
Are those cloaks something we have to attune to?
I don't believe so. No.
All right.
You just toss them on, you're good to go. You have resistance to lightning.
I will do so.
Awesome. Make sure it is lightning. Yeah, lightning.
Okay. I believe. Let me triple check how many people I can do this with.
Mm-hmm.
Uncasted, let's see. Okay, yeah, I can do this with up to 8 willing creatures. So, for the storm, because we've traversed it before, haven't we? Yeah, at the very beginning, I thought we did.
I don't think so.
Well, I teleported through it before, is what I'm like.
Yeah, we kinda
Isn't
ran
that
through
what
it,
we
right?
went through?
No,
we ran to
that was actually that was one of those wild vortex tornado things. Different.
Well, if it's helpful, I can do that again because I can teleport myself and up to 8 willing creatures. So, if that's useful, that is something we can do.
Okay.
Maybe.
We'll see. So, as you all approach the edge of this storm, roaring winds whip up what remains of the grass before you, to and fro as lightning lights up the purplish atmosphere ahead from within. The smell of ash and ozone assaults your nostrils as your eyes struggle against the grit and debris being blown about. Majin stares into the storm, seemingly unaffected by the aerial chaos dancing all around you. As if fixated on something none of you can see, breaking their focus, Majin turns their gaze in your direction and asks, "Shall we?" Rosina, as you're approaching this storm, you feel a particular draw to something inside of it. You're not quite sure what it is, but there is a power in there waiting for you.
Okay. Yeah. I think I approach feeling sort of magnetized to it.
All right. So, let's see here. I'm going to let you all know that it is going to take at least a full day's travel inside the storm to get to where you're going. So, while we're in the process of this, I'm going to let you know that there's going to be some checks to avoid taking damage or taking half damage. Depending on what you do, I'll give you some ideas and cues for things that you see, you wish to investigate. Awesome. If not, totally fine. Um, so as you're going through, you can hear loud ripping noises that can be heard over the gale. You're about an hour in now. Ahead, weather-worn remains of a once grand temple are slowly being erased from existence as void ravagers, covered in glowing crimson veins, rip and rend the stone with long, clawed talons. Void ravagers being the things that you all fought when you were trying to save the junction. Those weird kind of Langolier type monsters with legs, split open center with a long tongue hanging out, teeth off to the side. After that first hour goes by, I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw.
$23.
15.
28.
Where in the hell is this? We have to go grab my DM screen in here in a second because I can't find any of this. Okay, yep. Give me just a second. Oh yeah. Before I forget, Augustine, you got a dream point.
Cool.
Here we go. All right, so one more time with those Constitution saves.
15.
Okay.
14.
23.
28.
All right. So, everyone but Rosina, hey, 10 lightning damage. That's not halved. You take half of that, or therefore, effectively 3, because of your cloak, since I assume you donned it.
Yep.
Okay. You continue traveling on, and you see more interesting things. The wind-striped corpses of a deceased traveler lies at your feet, Rosina. All that remains is a polished skeleton, barely covered in tattered scraps of religious finery. Its hands still desperately clutch the holy symbol of an unknown god. As you pay attention to this, you sense something within that holy symbol. A spark.
I go to touch it.
So, just for everyone else, you are playing a godless, and you've taken a very specific path. I don't recall right offhand, but there is an ability that allows you to absorb that, correct? Is that servitude or severance?
That is servitude.
So, can you please read for everyone so they know what they're going to be seeing, what that does?
Uh, so it's a deification feature. You absorb the spark of a fallen deity, snuffing out what remains of the embers forever and absorbing it into yourself. Um, deity must be one you forged your divine wrath connection with. Do you want me to read the servitude section specifically?
I will get. Oh, goodness. You channel the visage of your fallen deity, permanently increasing your charisma or wisdom scores by 4 each, even if this would take you above your maximum. Additionally, you take on the visual aspects of your choice appropriate with your fallen deity. So, what happens as you absorb this last spark from some unknown god? What changes?
So as Rosina absorbs the spark, there are a few different things that you start to see change about her. First of all, she starts to glow kind of a deep purple color, and it doesn't really seem to go away. It just kind of sticks to her. Um, she has these tattoos under her eyes that she's had that sort of look like drippy black tears, and they sort of start to like leak all over her face, all over her eyes, so that she's got this sort of black drippy mask. And her hair uh, starts to look like tentacles and move like tentacles. Uh, and lastly, she appears to grow a small pair of black horns. Not like super long tiefling horns, but sort of like the classic devil horns on her head.
That's horrifying. So, you have reached the precipice of kind of your end game in terms of what your powers eventually start to look like. So, your deification um, begins to take hold. You gain those abilities, becoming more charismatic and insightful. Um, and your visage is forever changed. There are still things yet to unlock with this, but as you do this, there are inklings of who you truly are, just waiting in the background, waiting for you to fish them out. Perhaps spending some more time in this storm will slowly shake those loose. So, another couple hours go by. I need a couple constitution saves from each one of you.
How many's a couple?
2, because that's what a couple means.
I rolled both my dice at the same time, and they both came up with 2s on them. So I think I failed.
16 and 13.
Okay.
You gotta give me things Augustine's good at.
I got a natural 1 on the first one for 11, and then a 19 on the second one.
Okay, so you
You're
all
doing
took
good at this.
you all took um
I mean, I got a 27 on my first,
Oh yeah, so you so
and the second one was less.
okay. So the DC is 24 every time I have you roll one of these.
Okay. So I got one
so
success.
yeah, so if you fail the DC, I'm just going with average here, you take 10 before resistance for each one of those fails. Half for a success. So you've been here for 3 hours. Anything going on during this time? Anyone want to have a chit chat, talk about things? What you want to do? Otherwise, it's just going to be rolling dice and going places. There's obviously been some change.
I think some of those changes, though, I think some of us don't want to discuss it in front of Majinn is the thing.
Okay. So,
I'll
another,
just say,
yeah, go
oh,
ahead.
Rosina is going to distribute brownies to everyone for if you eat it, you get 6 temp HP.
Nice.
Cool. Are these just those brownies or are those brownies?
These are just brownies, not those brownies
Aw, no pocket brownies. Got it. All right. These are just
yet.
normal brownies. Yet. All right. So, assuming that you're not going to want to have any of these big, deep discussions, I get that. Is there any small talk going on? Anyone trying to converse with Majin or pay attention to Majin? I will tell you the one thing you do notice is that while you're all struggling to keep up with the ever shifting landscape and trying to avoid bolts of lightning slamming into the ground around you, Majin seems completely unaffected by the storm.
God, he is Legolas in the snow on this, isn't he? What a dick.
They are very much
I'm like,
just jamming.
this is just more reason to dislike them, honestly. Like, how dare they not be struggling? They
Get
can at
down in
least
the dirt with the
pretend.
rest of us.
Exactly.
Okay. So, the as you're continuing, you hmm, I'm gonna give everyone a perception check to see if they notice anything specific about this building. But you all see the foundation of a modest church that looms before you all. Its partially constructed walls connected to flying buttresses that are seemingly building themselves. Ash swirls around them and transforms into hewn stone blocks, slowly erecting this monument of divine reverence, seemingly out of thin air.
35.
24.
14.
19.
Cool. Rosina, you'll automatically see this. So anyone that got an 18 or higher, you'll notice
Sorry,
obvious.
Roman.
You notice that this sings familiar to your eyes, your minds, and your hearts. Rosina, you are seeing somehow with your awakening. Um, this place feels a little bit like home. Have you put in any thought into what might be the symbol of you?
I haven't.
Okay, so that's fine. We can make that nebulous at this point, kind of as you're constructing yourself from your powers that you've gained. This nebulous, this church, this very modest church, out in the storm of broken worlds, is building itself, seemingly in your image. There are motifs of, I assume, outsiders, um, a bit demonic in some places and chaotic in others. Things that don't quite fit together, but they match perfectly. No direct holy symbol at this point, but it seems like it's a building in progress.
It's pretty nice.
You continue on through the storm, knowing intrinsically where this place is now. You will never have to search for this place. You always know how to get here. As you continue on a little bit further, we're going to go ahead and say that this is a half a day. So, go ahead and give me 3 more Constitution saves each. Anything below 24, you will take 10 halved.
It's 10 halved to
Yes.
5.
Yes. If you make it, it's 3. Rounded up
All
for
right,
your
I
half.
failed 2. I got a 25 on one of them.
Sweet. So 5, 5 plus 3, 13 total for you, Rosina.
I literally couldn't make this unless I rolled a nat 20. And that wouldn't be because I got 24, because I got a crit.
Nice.
I
This
didn't,
place is
so.
I,
this
I
place
feel you. I have to roll a 19 or a 20.
this place
This-
is not meant for anybody. Um
2 successes, 1 fail.
Everyone else, as you're walking, you come across what appears to be a completed church, seemingly unaffected by the storms around. And it rings familiar to anyone that has been down down to where the temples are on the road to eternity. Yes, back in the city. Um, Anybody that wishes to can make a religion, or in this case, a intelligence check to see if you can remember what it is.
Would Augustine have
So-
advantage on this due to her knowledge of?
Yes.
Cool.
5.
Rosina also has advantage for different reasons. Go ahead. What was that, Riva?
A total of 5 from a 6.
Nice. You're
That's
doing
11.
great.
Yeah, a 21 for Augustine.
Okay.
18 for Rosina.
Okay. So you two, you recognize something. Let me set the scene here for you. As you're out here, you I know I put it in here. My apologies. Here it is. Um, as you approach this building, this temple, uh, you notice that it is hewn from the raw chaos of the storm. One part broken rubble, the other beautiful jade green pillars, accented only with a large golden circle set in the center of the floor. A place of worship that adherents now journey to occasionally in order to pay their respects to the ideals of the shepherd. Or, as you all know him, Invars, the god of change and rebirth. Rosina, you're intimately familiar with this individual. Augustine, you are familiar with them by reputation. Um, as you see this, you realize that despite the fact that it looks like rubble, the storm winds do not seem to be interfering with the inside of this building. So if you choose to take a break, you can absolutely do so. You have a chance for a rest of sorts. Whether you want to make that a long rest or a short rest is up to you.
Why don't we go in and take some shelter from the storm?
I think that's for the best.
Majin looks at you all and says, I'm going to get my bearings again. I'm pretty sure I know where to go. They look off to the side and they're like, I'm going to scout. I'll be back in an hour. If there
Do
are
we
no
take
objections, Majin saunters off into the storm.
We're all so petty.
We're all so petty. We just sat there and stared at Majin. Like
none of us like you. Go away.
outside, we're all just,
He left.
God.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
bye. Once Majin is out of range,
All right.
Augustine immediately whips around to look at Rosina. Your hair is fantastic. Are they actually tentacles? How did that happen? It looks really good.
Oh, thank you. I don't think they're actually tentacles, but it looks sick, right?
It does.
Yes, the makeup is very nice.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you approve, Riva.
Well, while we're all chatting about this, I'm gonna just cast Prayer of Healing. Everybody can get back 21 hit points.
Nice.
Oh, thank you.
23. I can count.
So, not to pry, Rosina, I know we aren't as close as we could have been, I suppose. But how?
I'm not exactly sure, but I've been researching and meditating and trying to channel power and figure out how Invar's became a god. And I am trying to follow the same path.
Well, I mean, if I'm frankly honest, it's not like you can do a worse job than some people. And Augustine, like, side eyes in the direction that Majin walked off in. I mean, we could use gods with a conscience. You know what I mean?
Right. It seems like they're just a mess, honestly.
What are you trying to be the god of?
Well, that's a good question. Probably the fight or of strength.
The way Riva instantly just decided to start following her. Yes, good, perfect.
Immediate following. This is good. I approve.
I behold
Rosine,
himself to no god or goddess, but I would still pay respects at your temple.
Rosina has 1.5 followers.
Collectively, probably closer to 2.
Successful
Nice.
first day.
You know what? You gotta start somewhere.
The
So you
math
became a
works.
god.
I suppose that means it's my turn. Riva, that wasn't me. That was actually fate that did that. She sort of did it as a present for me. I didn't ask for it, but she could tell I was pretty pissed off at Majin, so it was a little, here's something to make your mood better, I think. I wonder if we
At the
should probably
expense of Riva's mood.
talk about the fact that she figured the best way to cheer me up was to kill some things, but we'll talk about that later. She also did this. Kind of like looks down at the armor. I didn't know I could wear this kind of armor, so this is strange. I've never worn this kind of armor, and I've never used a sword, but it feels right in my hand. It's much heavier than a rapier, but
Amazing.
I mean, do you want to practice fighting with it? I feel like all of us would be so happy to practice fighting. Everyone's got
I
new
have a
fun
lot
stuff
of-
to try out.
I get a lot of experience using a sword if you want some tips.
before we jump into that, because I did want to ask you for some tips. Before we jump into that, though, really quick, while Majin is definitely gone, I'm holding my tongue for now. I'm holding my tongue for now, but I want the rest of you to know Sooner or later, you're going to know a lot more. And don't trust Majinn. Don't.
Already done.
Cool.
I feel like I made my opinion very clear.
You did, yes. And honestly, I was probably the slowest one on the hate Majinn train, but here we are.
Should we do the opposite of what Majin says or just go with it for now?
Go with it for now. Because-
Trust but verify kind of situation.
Right. And I don't know. Even knowing what I know, I'm trying to think of a good way to put this. Majin is nothing if not unpredictable. And that both worries me and makes me wonder if there's an even bigger picture we might be missing. So for now, follow what they say. I don't like the look on John's face. John's over there cheesing
I
as we're having
know. Is
conversation.
Majin on the other side of the door going like,
Probably,
Whoa.
honestly.
Now, there's no door. You can tell that Majinn's not, at least physically, there. They seem
So
to
you
be gone.
There is something though. The Well of Souls. So, Riva, do you remember when Fate was talking about how she had lost that connection with a god, she felt like?
yeah.
It's because Majin killed her god and took her god's place.
Point
And
of correction, patron.
what?
Point of correction, patron.
Patron,
Choose
I'm
one,
sorry.
right? No worries.
Patron. And the Well of Souls, he pulled the celestial magic out of that. That when Fate was empowered by the well, Fate made a pact with Majin and didn't even realize it. And I only know this now because I should have asked her how. I didn't, but she broke it. Somehow.
So we're going to kill them, right?
That's... trust me, that is very, very tempting, but I'm trying to also be smart about this. It's like I said, Majin is hard to predict. It's very possible that whatever we think they're going to do, they intend something entirely different. We need more information. But as it stands right now, it just looks like Majin's puppeteered every single piece of this to what end, I don't know. I know what I think it is, but I could be wrong.
Well, I know that if he's done this, he's hurt my friends, and I think people who do that should be very wary of me in general. So I don't really care what he's planning to do.
If I'm going to hold my tongue for a bit longer, mostly because I don't know what the backlash will be if I don't, then I ask that you guys just play along so we can get as much information as possible until the moment I may inevitably decide to break my silence.
is there a way we can make sure we are getting more information?
Observing? We can try asking questions, but we can't guarantee honesty or clarity.
They love to just talk in circles.
If you want
What?
information, all you gotta do is play Teeth.
No, get out.
What was that?
You turn around, and some of you see a very familiar figure.
I'm not
I'm
playing
not
this
even
stupid
familiar
game
with this
again.
character.
No.
I just already know. No.
Get out. No, we're not. No, we're not playing your game.
Aw,
Get out. Or I'm going to let my familiar eat you.
that's not nice.
Who
I
is
just want to
this?
play Teeth.
Nobody wants to play teeth with you.
There's a blue person who just left. They'll be coming back in like an hour. They'd love to play this game with you.
Absolutely, they would.
Okay, I'll wait.
Oh no, you
Can
should
you
go
wait
find
outside?
them. They're all alone out there. Go keep them company and entertain them with the game.
Oh, hey, come on. Humor me. I saved your lives once.
Or you ruined our
but
death.
then we played your game because you saved our lives.
No, you played the game first. And then I saved your lives. So now, I saved your lives. You play Teeth. And
Didn't you
then,
just get rid of
you
a
say you
dragon?
want the information? I have information. And much more. I mean, I may have what you want.
Like, above table, I am genuinely wondering if they can take our teeth, considering we are quite dead and do not technically actually have them anymore.
So, because three of you absolutely know what's going on, and one of you is completely in the dark, Rosina, allow me to describe what you see before you. You
You're
were all
gonna regret
very
hearing this.
Character-wise, it is two people who have no idea what the fuck's happening, but
Yes, it's true. So we're all very in this very intense in this moment conversation, which is the only reason why this individual kind of snuck up on you. What you see standing before you is a curious figure that stands 2.5 feet tall and is carrying a lantern and is almost completely covered in a dark, tattered shroud. The only visible part of its body is two gangly gray hands. Under the hood, there are no discernible facial features, just two glowing orbs for eyes and a bright smile of perfect teeth floating in a pitch black void. In the other hand, they have what looks like a golden cup, and they're just rattling it, and you hear the sound of ivory rattling against gold.
This creature approached us before and asked us all to play a game of teeth. I believe Reva, did you play?
No, I like my teeth.
No, Reva didn't play, but I think Jean played.
Jean
it
and
was Jean and
Inya
Issa.
also played.
Jean and
Or no,
Issa played, and
That's right.
both of them lost. And then I decided, you know what, why not? And I won, which is why I'm not going to play again. Because I'm not testing that luck twice. But essentially, you win and he does something good, like save your life. You lose and you lose your tooth.
What's it? I think we're really exaggerating the save your life thing. He got rid of a dragon. I could have killed the dragon.
I seem to remember
Pat's character is
that-
gonna rise from the grave. No, we were all almost fucking dead. Don't you goddamn start.
that battle did not go how you're remembering it.
I think I basically won
John
it, and he just came
Valgrind
in the last
rolls
second.
in his grave
Oh, good. That's where he ended up.
as he was literally standing up, getting knocked down, standing up, getting knocked down.
Literally, my
Yeah.
only job during that fight was to stand there and try and shield this guy so I could put him back on his feet again just to watch him drop.
It was literally
I don't
it
remember
was the
me doing
one
so
session
bad.
I missed. I
course
came
you
back
don't.
next session. The only thing I knew was everyone needed healing
Well,
badly,
Anya did
and
die
I had
from it, I'm
healing
pretty
spell.
sure.
Oh no. Well, I'm not playing teeth with you. Are there locks on these doors? How did you even get in here?
Are there doors?
There's no doors. That's and Augustine leans and points. That's a hole. That's an empty doorway, Rosina. Did the tentacle get in your eye?
Yeah, must have. Just like rubs your eyes.
They've got a mind of their own.
Fine. Okay. Well, if you need me, I'll
I
be
mean,
around.
there's part of me that kind of wants to play teeth with him, but I need to check something first.
He sets a bell, or the entity sets a bell in the middle of the room and goes,
Ring the bell, I'll play teeth.
and walks through the open doorway, walks off to the right where the actual building is missing and just disappears, like behind the door frame.
I mean, it would be a real fast way to get information.
What does that thing
You can
know
play
that
teeth if you want to. I can give you some words of encouragement, and
Because that will help me save my teeth.
it could.
it's literally a
Bardic
gamble?
inspiration, it could.
It's 2d8s. What is your bardic inspiration gonna do for me in this? I've played this enough at conventions. I know exactly what the fuck I'm getting into. I have a unique set of skills on this. I have practiced.
Fortunately, they're all chaos.
Well, I'm not going to stop you, but I'm not gambling my teeth away.
I mean, technically, I don't even have to gamble my teeth because I have Issa's dragon glass tooth as one of my earrings.
That's fucked up.
I didn't say
That's
it wasn't.
that's a
I'm just saying I
hair.
came prepared for this shit.
That's so fucked up. Augustine would smack the shit out of Frankie for that.
Only if I lose.
No, even offering it.
I'm
Really?
sorry, you
This is
find it less
disrespectful.
weird that
Reaching
he's
for it?
wearing. You find it less weird that he would want to keep the tooth of his dead aunt.
No,
As
it's
an earring,
mentality.
then
She gets it. It's very. You can romanticize the hell out of Bones. Are you kidding me? She's a bard.
Fuck it. Frankie's gonna ring the bell.
Well,
Ring the bell,
immediately,
it
huh?
disappears, and walking right back in as if they never left from the side of that pillar, you see Jasper going,
Wanna play teeth?
Yeah.
Such a bad
Oh.
idea.
Hey, so what's
I
your
didn't say
wager?
this was.
What would you like to win?
Gang, what information are we looking for?
You want to play? You don't even have a question?
You don't have
No.
specifics, I have randoms.
No.
Don't get something random. That's a good way to just gamble for nothing.
Don't let the face fool you. I'm not entirely stupid.
Is this like a yes or no question?
Nope.
Legend lore question? Like,
I mean, the last time that we ended up using this character, he threw a black dragon into, I think, the world of Mario. So, like, the world's a little bit our oyster right now. What do we need?
so
What?
that there's clarification on what actually happened. Augustine and Riva are both well aware that that dragon had been polymorphed into a toad or a frog, and Jasper threw it into Biscuit and his patron's armory.
Yeah, we got out of that one because that was Augustine polymorphed it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The session after you came back. And Sean had almost murdered your character by accident. That was a whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll let y'all discuss what kind of stuff you're trying to find out. See if Jasper has the information.
I mean, we can ask about, I don't know, what Nixia loved the most. Maybe as a way to try to break through to her. But I can't think of anything that, I mean, we could try.
That feels like a tall order for this little guy.
It does, but there's nothing I can really think of that we need that's small. You know what I mean? We need information on Nixia. We need information on Majinn. Neither of those are short orders.
True.
Both pretty mysterious figures.
We could find out if there's a temple to Nixia that she's actually still at in here.
Or what's making her so angry?
Oh, I can tell what's making her angry. She was betrayed. She feels betrayed.
And we're walking in with a guy with the moniker Betrayer. We're gonna go great.
I was gonna say.
Batting 1,000, doing great.
Yeah, this entire situation's fucked.
Goddess or not, I know female rage driven by betrayal, and that is exactly what I felt.
Well, the Jasper's just sitting here waiting.
Suddenly intense music.
Yeah,
Majinn pops up out of nowhere.
Nope. This is just setting the theme, the tone, for the information that you are trying to seek.
Which of these questions got us boss music?
It's not boss music.
It's great.
It's merely
I'm not
culminating.
listening to it. I'm just basing this off
What are you
of
talking
reaction.
about?
It's the death of oaths.
It's boss music.
I mean,
it could be.
technically, the title of that just saved us a question, so.
I mean, maybe. Just the title of the song.
Yeah. Being played by somebody with all the subtlety of a baseball bat.
Wait. What if we found out the exact terms of the agreement that was made between Nixia and the other gods? I
That could be
mean,
helpful.
we sort of know to an extent, but I don't think we have enough detail. If we understand it better, we might be able to actually.
I mean, we wouldn't be any worse off than we are now with that information. It would definitely be helpful, though.
I think that's what we should try for.
All right.
If nothing else, it also gives us a little bit of ammunition against some of the gods if we have to deal with any of them.
Frankie's just gonna kind of glance over at Rosina, this newly minted deity.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
not one of the gods we're talking about. We all know that.
Not you, we're one of the good ones. So is that what we're going for?
I'll play teeth for the terms and conditions that Nixia was stuck with.
Well, maybe is that something you can answer?
Jasper
How
has,
else are we gonna find out?
Jasper has deep lore on the forgotten goddess of resurrection.
I guess he knows. So
We'll give it a
for
go, I guess.
Oh
Remind me,
boy!
John. It's 2d8s.
It is
High and low?
2d8, yes.
3
So,
rounds?
for everyone else watching, it's a very simple game. Each player will roll 2d8. They can bear the higher rolls. If both high rolls are the same, the low rolls are used as a tiebreaker. It is best 2 out of 3 wins. So, with that, for the visual people, Jasper will hand you the cup and say,
You shake and roll.
and what happens as you roll or you shake it, you hear jangling and you roll and it will display a number of teeth. So,
All right.
here we go. I have a 6 and a 4.
7 and a 6.
Oh man, you're really good at teeth. Man, alright, here we go.
I mean, it's also worth noting that I do have the one level of godhood that I have is the aspect of luck. So the worst I can do is break even.
Nice.
Huh?
8 and 6.
I mean, I can only break even. So regardless of what I rolled, I got an 8 and a 6.
Oh man, you played this game before?
I had practice.
All right, 4 and 3.
Break even.
Man, somebody likes to play games.
7 and 4.
Isn't it for 3?
It's best 2 out of 3, but if we're tying, those don't count.
Fair enough. What was yours?
7 and 4.
Break even again. We can do this all night.
Apparently,
I love this fucking feat. It's great.
4 and 3.
8 and a 1.
Man, fine. Oh,
This might be the only time I'm gonna actually have this be useful in the entire campaign.
all right. Let me go.
He pulls out a scroll and he starts like sifting through it. It looks blank, but it looks like there's text rolling through. As I root through the book to find the actual information. You sons of bitches. Oh, nope. Too far. Deities and domains? Nope. 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 You fucker. Alright, we're gonna do this the hard way, I guess. Right. Black Ballad. You would think I had this open, but I wasn't expecting y'all to like straight up ask for the fucking storyline. Hang
Silly
on.
rabbit.
Nixia.
Listen, you hand us a silly little guy with information, and we're gonna get the information.
Apparently, yes. Oh shoot, that's way previous. Boop, 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 boop. Getting closer. Okay. Gotta put this as one page. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. All right, so. Y'all ready for a lore drop? You bastards. So he scrolls through and he simply hands you this this parchment, and he looks at you and goes,
Jasper doesn't want to read, so the parchment will read to you.
and it begins telling a story of Nixia. Nixia was born during a time when gods were still few and far between, when ancient languages weren't forgotten and records of history hadn't been buried by the passing of time. All that is known about Nixia can be found within a small collection of books tucked away in the library at the Onyx Requiem. However, it does appear that one of those books has been absconded with. It tells a tale of trials that Nixia had to pass in order to ascend to godhood. Connected as she was to all living things, she bore witness to great acts of compassion, as well as great acts of cruelty. While tending to the people under her care, she began to uncover problems with the divine gifts of resurrection. When they were brought back to life, mortals were often plagued by memories of the afterlife, whether it be nightmares of hellish realms, of punishment, or dreams of longing for the paradise that await the virtuous. Memories of the beyond invaded every part of their lives. These mortals were no longer truly living. They were waking each day dreading their eventual return to punishment or weeping for the loss of the peace they would not know again until death. Alone, the young goddess could not take this torment from the mortals under her care. It was beyond her abilities. She brought her concern to fellow gods, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. The gods were content with the way things were. Why would they change the cycle for one concerned deity out of multitudes? An age passed as Nixia deliberated on the problems before her. When the goddess returned to her fellows, she had a solution. The idea was simple, elegant, and utterly unexpected by the gods. Nixia proposed to create a realm to act as a waypoint between death and the afterlives that awaited mortals. For those that were likely to be brought back, it would be a temporary stop, a dream-like haven that would fade from their memories as they returned to life, sparing them from the torturous memories of the beyond. It was the most generous solution she could devise. There was only one problem. It required the death of a god to be created, and none volunteered. In her disappointment and anger, Nixia offered herself. She had designed the realm as a temporary solution until other methods could be devised. The important thing was that mortals should be spared torment. The other gods accepted her offer and promised her, in words sweet and filled with conviction, that they would bring her back once they devised an alternative plan. They promised to honor her sacrifice. They promised to bring her back the moment they put a new plan into motion. But it was a lie. Nixia was sacrificed at the hands of the other gods as the foundation for the Sunless Crossing. Her essence was used to bind the realm together, created from the divine essence of the goddess. The crossing formed as her consciousness faded. Unfortunately, the immense undertaking of creating a plane of existence required more power than the death of a deity could provide. The continued existence of the Sunless Crossing requires periodic infusions of power, power born of sacrifice. Therefore, it is the fate of all sovereigns to offer up their souls at the end of their term through ritualistic sacrifice. This ritual joins their power with Nixia's, ensuring the realm's continued existence. And with that,
That was worth the risk for teeth.
Especially with all the luck you have.
Yeah, was crazy. Were you cheating?
No.
Jasper
You can
leans in
inside
real
that if you want, buddy.
No. Jasper leans in real close and goes,
I have more, but not pertain to what you ask. You want to play teeth?
Frankie
You
does,
asking
but
me
at the
or
same
him?
time, we do not have all night for me to play chicken with you.
Do we have any other questions? I mean, I guess we could just keep finding out more about this, but I feel like someone's gonna lose a tooth eventually.
Jasper writes on a piece of paper and just slides it down in front of you. It's face down. You don't see the writing.
Jasper
Hmm?
knows about that.
No, it's in front of all of you. It's right in the middle of the floor where the bell had been placed.
Augustine will grab it.
On the other side, it simply says, "Who caused the anger?"
Move over, Frankie. I'm playing teeth.
Oh, great.
Wait. I'm gonna reach for the paper.
Augustine will pass it over.
Just gonna pass it down the line to whoever's closest to me next.
Jasper hands you the cup, Augustine.
Quick point of questioning, Augustine. Not that your luck isn't, generally exemplary. You've already got secrets. Is this something that we want to risk potentially also being stuck as a secret?
Oh no, it wouldn't be stuck as a secret. It's going to be spoken in front of all of us.
All right.
Just a big
Someone's looking a
grin
little
underneath of a hat.
I mean, art imitating life. Somebody's looking a little smug over there, so.
Can I insight check that?
What, me as the DM? Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Insight
No,
check the
this
DM.
shit-eating grin thing.
Oh, no, yeah, go ahead. No, Jasper is 100% like just super happy that someone wants to play Teeth. There's nothing
Okay,
hidden there.
so for insight check on the DM,
Yeah, you're at a -10 and you can skip.
I have a nat 20 with a +8. Eat a dick. What are you doing?
Roll disadvantage. I use
No.
silvery barb. All
I
right,
got an
but
8 for the first
I mean, that's
one.
an 18, so with the disadvantage, so.
all right, whatever. No, that's just me being really happy that someone wants to play Teeth. I like this game; it's fun.
All right, fair enough.
All right, so Augustine, you have the chalice in your hand, and you get to roll the teeth, and then he'll roll the teeth. So,
I
die
rolled the
8.
first one already. And I got an 8 and a 1.
Man, I got a 7 and a 1. You're good at teeth too.
All right, second one.
You forget that I've already played Teeth with you before.
I know, I wanted a rematch.
That's an 8 and a 6.
Fine. Man, every time I come up against you guys, it's not been the same.
Just like, just the most disheartened. Like, there's still a smile, but it's like a facade.
I mean, you got two sets of teeth out of the party last time, buddy. I don't know what you want here.
You weren't here. Shut up.
You're right, I wasn't, but I am now here. The ghost of Issa is like, shut the fuck up.
The ghost of Issa has moved on.
Actually, yes, as a point of plot.
All right.
Fine. Alright.
Reaches into its sleeve and pulls out another thing. And it simply says,
The answer you seek is here.
and pulls out this scroll and sets it down in front of you and goes,
I don't want to be here when you read that.
Augustine's gonna grab it and read it right fucking now.
Hey, whoa.
so as you open it, it starts to recite, and you all immediately are like, what do you mean? They look at Augustine grabbing the scroll, and as quickly as that, Jasper has disappeared. As you open the scroll, it speaks the words that you have, at least some of the things you have not been able to say. And it simply says, the avatar of Dream is corrupting the dreams of Nixia.
Star of Dream. Is that Majin?
He did say
Now-
it was related to
Augustine
dreams.
distinctly is not. She's smiling, but she's not saying anything.
God, we really gotta kill them.
I mean, if our suspicions are correct, how in the fuck would we do that?
I don't know. I mean, they can.
I'm not
be
against the
killed,
notion.
right?
I just don't know how we'd pull it off.
Well, what I can say is this. Nixia was killed by gods.
Point of
If
fact,
I-
Nixia sacrificed herself and was promised to be resurrected by the other gods when they found a solution, which they never intended on doing.
Yes, that's
Okay.
the point Augustine was making.
Okay. Sorry.
So, one might think that someone like Majin, it would take the same kind of power. If we could somehow fix things with Nixia. Spark
Well,
that
also-
energy back up.
The wording there kind of worries me a bit. It didn't say God of Dreams. It says Avatar of Dreams.
One can only make assumptions about power levels, but considering Normally you would hear terms like Titan or God. I would think a
No.
God would at least be on par.
Can I make some sort of a check to see if I would know the difference situationally for this, what the importance of an avatar or a god would be?
Yes. You can use either history or religion.
Both of them are terrible. This is not going to do us any
Fantastic.
good. Yet something tells me a 5 ain't going to do shit.
Those are definitely words that you've heard somewhere, and it might have just been this conversation.
Yeah. I've heard them
Uh,
used before, possibly interchangeably.
Can I give Frankie the help action or give advantage by like pulling out the book that they gave me about like the gods and stuff and handing it back
Oh
over?
yeah, we had that thing that was talking about that with the stuff.
Do you have? I'm willing to work with this, but do you have religion or history as a proficiency?
I do have history as a proficiency.
You
So say you might be
could.
better off rolling for this.
You could roll for it, or you could offer the help action. It is your choice.
Don't help me, I'm stupid.
I'll try
Yourself.
it. I'll try for it.
Okay. You
Uh,
have the book, so I'm going to give you advantage.
Oh, nice. Okay. That's a 22.
Cool. So, you're perusing through the book because this was something you thought you saw at some point. And one of the things that you see is that there's a distinct difference between things. There are things that you remember from back in the Shadelands. For instance, there was a champion of the Hexblade patron. You know that there are champions of gods. Usually, those are like very devout clerics or even paladins, crusaders, that sort of thing. So a champion, but then there's also minor deities or epic, like Aesir gods, people that were imbued with godlike powers, um, that were higher than your typical demigod, but lesser than a god. When you hear avatar, um, it's not something usually associated with gods themselves. An avatar would be the embodiment of something. Something given physical form.
So the avatar of dreams would be the embodiment of dreams itself.
Yes. And the little bit you know with that 22 is that if you there's been stories, none of them ever really substantiated, but through your journeys and your self-discoveries and your readings along the way, before you realize that numbers are stupid and math's dumb, that if you manage to kill an avatar, there is a chance, however slim, that you can take its place. Never been substantiated, but also avatars are not common.
Have we even heard of any other avatars?
No.
All right. So I relay that the avatar of dreams is basically like a walking dream. And if one was to kill it, there's a rumor that you could become the next avatar.
Rosina, avatar of dreams.
We'll have to try to make sure you get that final blow then.
John, I'm gonna roll something for insight, and it's entirely to see if Frankie's smart enough to put this shit together. I'm not even gonna tell you what it is. I'm just having doubts on the intelligence of my own character.
I mean, okay.
Would an 18 hit for trying to parse out any sort of knowledge
Yeah,
from what we've learned? Okay.
yeah. For
Augustine
Frankie,
doesn't.
that's like Frankie had a flash of fucking insight.
Yeah, pretty much.
It hit him like a stack of bricks.
Augustine, you said that um Fate's patron was killed and they replaced him, right?
Yeah.
Picking up what I'm putting down here?
But that was patron.
Do you
Though
think dreams aren't something that would get patronage in the Shadelands?
Yeah, Majin was our patron.
wow. That would probably be it then.
So Majin killed Fate's old patron and took the title and is now trying to kill Nixia.
I don't even know necessarily if they're trying to kill Nixia. I think they're just trying to solve a very age-old problem.
No, they're trying to get rid of resurrection. At least that's what they've presented to us. And I don't know.
I think we have some stuff to think on for a couple of minutes because that was a lot.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're trying to bring it back to the way the gods used to have it.
Might be. What I'm fairly certain of, well, what I am factually certain of, is that the entirety of my life path, at least the overarching course, was decided by Majin. And I did not know that for most of my life. And Majin has been taking away free will on various levels from various people. Openly, behind a mask. And now they're trying even more to get rid of free will. If that's their true end game, we can't let them do that.
I don't disagree, but I'm curious as to why.
I always thought Majin liked free will. But
Yeah, the whole thing is like they love just watching people do whatever they do.
But that also contradicts what they've done, too. I mean, they could have altered everyone's life paths.
I guess
They
the
admitted to mine, but
I mean, there's I guess a question of how long they've been the Avatar.
When did Fate's patron die?
I didn't tell you. I had 2 questions to ask her.
And neither of those would, or this wouldn't have been relevant at the time.
No, There's one other thing, though. So, Fate broke a pact. I told you that. When she did that, I felt mine loosen. We may have more working pieces here than we realize. And we may be able to get a leg up as a result. I don't know what it means yet, but I do know what I felt. And I felt the chains go loose. Fate said this was a gamble, but that if it went well, it would be good for both of us. And I think it has something to do with breaking the ties that Majin has.
Suddenly playing teeth with the little weirdo wasn't a bad call.
I didn't think he knew that much.
Yeah.
Why did he run?
You look down as you're looking around. The bell is back.
Just wanted to have some alone time, I guess.
wants to ring the bell.
Yeah, fuck it, why
Okay,
not?
hold on. What are we even doing it for now?
The way that we all just became fuck it, we ball with playing teeth with this little bastard.
Yeah? You want to play too?
I want to know why you ran. Why did you run?
Yeah, why were you scared of the scroll?
Oh, it's not the scroll. I thought the other guy was coming back.
Oh,
That's a
Has it
valid
been an hour?
concern.
it is. It is.
Did you see him? Did he come back?
Who?
The other guy.
I
No.
think that was him. Right? No, okay.
Mm.
Huh?
So,
The mystery of teeth.
okay.
I mean,
Holds out the cup to like anybody that will take it.
suppose that saves me from asking if he's willing to play against people he's already lost to.
Yeah. So, just so you all know, you have about 20 minutes at this point before Majin is scheduled to come back.
So
I'm
10 minutes before we need to be worried.
10 minutes before we have to look over our shoulders like we're going to tell a questionable joke.
I
Let's
mean,
hide the
yeah.
scrolls before he gets back. I can do the next round. Do we have a question we want to ask?
I want to know how long they've been the Avatar.
When faced patient, or yeah, how long they've been the Avatar might be a better question.
But also, I can play for that one. So if y'all have a better question.
Is he willing to play against the same person twice?
Did you win?
Yeah.
Then yes.
Oh, this is a competition thing now.
He wants teeth. Jasper wants teeth.
You are welcome to
I'll grab the
take
cup.
the challenge. I'm not that lucky. I'll tell you that right now.
You guys think of other questions. I've got this one.
What question do you seek?
How long has Majin been the Avatar of Dream?
I have an answer, but it's not what you seek. If you win, I will tell you.
That's how this game works, yes.
Okay.
8-1.
8-3.
Damn you.
Man!
Oh shit.
Again.
8-8.
8-4, which means I break even with you.
8-4. How are you breaking even with me?
I have the luck thing from my one round of Godless that means that I can only ever break even or win a game of chance.
Roll insight on this fucker because he's probably they're sensing something's
That
amiss.
means I get to roll deception against you.
Yes. Roll your deception. Where the hell is my dice?
I had to.
There.
I got you to
Augustine
bust
going
out your
to lean
dice.
over and just say, I have never been more proud of you. Take a D12 of Bardic Inspiration on that
Fuck
deception.
yeah! Let me find my D12.
Here we go.
There we go.
Ah, yes. The bloody dice.
This aspect was like made for this game.
I know, it's so great. I thought I was gonna get to play like poker with it or something. We just haven't gotten to it yet. I got a 30, dude, so good luck.
I only got a 24.
I'm just good at this, man.
Jasper looks at you.
Something's off. Oh well.
8-4.
All right. Break even.
Mm. Quit falling. 8-2.
8-3.
Man.
That's 2 out of 3, bud.
Fine.
John, I told you that it wasn't going to be fun playing with me on this round.
All right. Jasper's going to try to figure out how to nullify that at some point.
Oh, I
Ooh.
don't doubt it, but not right now.
This is bullshit.
He reaches the guy reaches in and pulls out a piece of paper, and it just simply says, "Majin is not the Avatar."
Information.
Good to know. So someone else is the Avatar who's been corrupting.
Jasper
Nixia.
goes,
It's complicated, but
I was
Tell
going
us
to
all
say,
about how complicated it is in your little Kermit
Is it like-
voice.
He's not the Avatar, but he's a Avatar. Like there's multiple of them.
Majin is and is not the Avatar, and has always been.
You're losing me.
The time thing.
Or it's a god thing.
You want to know if Majin's a god?
You want to play this with me again, buddy?
I don't want to play with you. You keep winning. I want to play with you.
and points at Riva.
Oh.
Oh, this has been the best day.
Or
Do we
you.
want this
Points at
information?
Rosina.
I'm a
two have
new
already
god.
won.
I have to keep up appearances. I can't be losing
Yeah,
teeth on my
you
first
need your
day.
teeth. Yeah. Well, yeah, you probably should. I can take it. I mean, is this what we want to ask? If he's a
I
god?
mean, you can
or
lose
they're
a
god?
back tooth and it'll still be pretty.
Yeah,
Do I get to choose?
that's a good question.
Ask
No.
what Majin is.
I don't want to lose any of my front teeth. All right.
I promise nothing. I
Yeah,
take the
what-
prettiest ones.
More Majin War.
I mean, Riva's front ones have probably been the most busted historically.
All right.
Probably true.
Looks like you've got a time enough for one game.
Is this the
Be-
question we want to ask? Is there any other questions you'd rather ask than is he a god?
Is Majin a god?
Is
No,
Majin a
just
god?
straight up ask what Majin is.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like that
that's
gives them
probably a better
space to
question.
dance around it. Though.
Uh,
His face is not giving me any encouragements on this.
do you just want to stick with are they a god?
You can ask whatever you want. I have an answer to both of those, and neither one of them's dancing around the question, as far as you know. But Jasper will answer honestly. That is one thing you know Jasper for. Never deceitful.
Okay. What exactly is Majin?
I
What kind
have
of
your
entity? All right.
Okay, here we go. 7 and 1.
2 7s.
Oh, you fucker.
Man! I gotta. You know what? I'm not leaving the bell this time.
8 and 2.
8 and 2. So
All right.
5 and 1.
7 and 3.
You fucker. Just with the most disheartened look ever. Just,
We are going to roll shit for the rest of the campaign, and it'll
We're
still
spending
be
all of our
fucking
luck
worth
here.
it.
So many nat ones coming our way.
Majin is Dream.
Just like
So if the avatar of Dream equals Dream and Majin equals Dream, does Majin equal Avatar?
God, we're
Is
all
he
so
like-
bad
are
at
they
math,
like-
and this is a math problem.
are they like is aspect of dream or not? Yeah. Avatar of Dream is like they are a being that represents it. Is it like they're not just a being, they are the entire concept.
I'm going to be so honest. I wonder if we need pocket brownies to actually understand what Majin is.
I
And I'm being
mean,
so genuine
But
when I say
they're
that.
gonna be back by the time those even start kicking in.
Hmm.
valid point.
It's
We might
been
want to
Next
put a
fun.
pin in this,
pocket brownie
By
perhaps.
will bring
fun, I
sugar.
mean awful. Wow.
Actually, wait.
What?
Frankie is going to do the skin changer thing and probably take a decent amount of only 4 points in necrotic. In the process, all of the teeth are going to come out. New ones will come into their place. Frankie's going to scoop them all up and just hand him the teeth. You've earned them, buddy.
Oh, yay!
Scoops them all into the cup and just just hurriedly waddles out around the corner and disappears. The bell is
That
gone.
is disgusting.
Jasper is gone.
I mean, 32 regrowable bones felt like a decent trade for everything we got.
They are not regrowable for most people.
Yeah, if you lose, I remember. Issa told me. I didn't. Nobody lost here. This is just like a bonus check at the end of the week for him.
No, like if I lost my teeth, I would not be able to bring them back. I don't know if
Sucks
that's
for
that
you.
ability.
Oh.
Actually, that brings up an entirely different set of questions about what like cleric magic can actually regrow for people, but not right now.
As you're having this wonderful discussion, Majin wanders back in from the storm and goes, I found where we're heading. Have you all rested?
Spit out a tooth that I probably missed, just sort of.
Yeah, we got some healing done.
Bleh. They're itchy when they start out.
And with all of this information gained by the party, and some more horrifying things having transpired, that is where we're going to leave off this session of Red to Black. As the party begins to pack themselves back together to head finally towards Death's domain, or possibly make other choices based on the new knowledge they've gained. But thank you all for watching.